If you're considering suicide or are in crisis, please call or text 988 and you can connect with a qualified crisis counselor 24/7 from anywhere in the United States. Please do it right now. I'm Mike Quackenbush, and this is Till We Make It. If you are as passionate about pro wrestling as I am, then you're in the right place. I recently conducted a poll asking subscribers to this channel to vote on what topic they'd like to see covered next here on the channel. And the one that won is this one, the one about mental health. I should probably tell you at the very top of this conversation, I am not a mental health professional. But I'm not exactly a stranger to topics of mental health. As someone who's been in therapy for the last 12 years, I have learned more than a thing or two about it. And having been diagnosed very young as being obsessive compulsive and then dealing with numerous bouts of debilitating depression, I have seen my fair share of bouts with good and bad mental health. In addition to which, my life and career have been impacted numerous times by mental health topics and issues relating to people that I admired, to dear friends of mine, and to members of my own wrestling family who saw terrible effects from not maintaining good mental health. And on some occasions, this yielded tragic results. So this topic is very near and dear to my own heart. I'd like to start this chat by talking about the stigma around mental health. And this is way bigger than just professional wrestling. Think about physical health for a second. If you came down with a cold, or maybe you were experiencing a fever, there'd be nothing out of the ordinary to mention this to friends and family. Oh, I'm not feeling well. I'm a little under the weather. You might even take a day off from work so that you could tend to your physical health and recover and get back to 100% so you could resume your normal day-to-day activities. There's nothing unusual about doing that. And yet, there remains a real stigma around taking those same types of steps to address mental health concerns. When we are a little under the weather when it comes to our mental health, many of us would never consider voicing that to friends or to family. Or the idea that we would take off from work to tend to our mental health seems really out of the ordinary, but we need to move past that. And I think it's because for so many generations, and this isn't just here in the United States, this is around the world, there's been a correlation between mental health and weakness. If you're experiencing an issue with your mental health, that this somehow means you're weak. That a strong person could somehow just snap out of it. They could magically overcome it. But nothing could be further from the truth. And so I want us to start to consider our mental health to be every bit the priority and every bit the topic for conversation that our physical health is. And it's not just about the time or the attention, but it's even about the money that we dedicate to that. Think about this for just a second. What we as professional wrestlers, or maybe you're just training right now to be a professional wrestler, maybe you aspire one day to get in the ring, you're going to be spending time and energy and money on your physical health. Things like a gym membership, protein supplements to improve your diet so that you can add muscle to your body, etc., etc. There's all these things that we do, and they are solely for our physical health's benefit. But we also need to spend that same time and energy, and yeah, even our money, even our resources on our mental health, because it is every bit as crucial to our success, not just in wrestling, but in life. Believe it or not, many people who are experiencing changes at work, in their family, or in their relationship status meet the criteria for depression right now. And yet a study from just over 1 year ago found that nearly 60% of people faced with some type of mental illness sought no help or treatment for it whatsoever. But you can't wait. Yes, the common cold might pass. You might get over a fever in a day or two, but you can't wait until things reach heart attack proportions to seek medical help. This is as true on the physical side of our health as it is on the mental side of our health. And the reality is, for many of us, when we are experiencing those types of things, those types of mental health issues, our tendency is to isolate. And I know this because this is exactly what I do. I imagine that I am a burden to my friends, my coworkers, to my family, and so I do not reach out to my support network. I isolate. And here are the exact things that I say to myself. Oh, I can't bother him. He's so busy. He's got so much going on. Or I can't call her up. I'll be such a burden right now. She's got too much on her own plate and I can't distract her from that. That's exactly what's going on in my inner monologue as I begin to isolate. But this is the opposite of help. Having a support network is essential to combating these kinds of feelings. That's exactly why we have them. That's exactly why we have friends. So what can we do? How can we help mitigate some of these mental health struggles that we all go through? Well, I want you to know that there is no one-size-fits-all solution for this. You may need to try a couple different things before you find the one that works best for you. I went through a process like that myself. It took me 5 different therapists before I found the one that really clicked with me, but it has made all the difference. If you're feeling the pangs of depression, I can tell you what I do to combat that, and it's create a routine. I set an alarm every morning, and I get out of bed when the alarm goes off. I make my bed, I take a shower, I get dressed in clean clothes, I eat a meal, and then I try to find some kind of exercise, especially if it gets me out of the house as quickly as possible. It gets my day off to a stronger start than if I stay in bed, I don't get dressed, or I linger indoors too long. Even that simple routine has made a real difference for me. Okay, let's keep the ball rolling. What else can we do to lay the groundwork for good mental health? Well, it might be necessary to take a hiatus from social media. If that has a negative impact on your mental well-being and mood, I would strongly consider it. And if you're worried about being gone from the conversation for a while, don't sweat it, because there are people out there that you can hire to run your social media for you while you're away. And I can tell you firsthand, it's worth every penny, and it's wonderful. The second thing, cut out all the negative self-talk. And this one is a real challenge for me because my negative self-talk, my inner monologue, it's a daily struggle for me. I have to curb that. If it gets out of control, it will absolutely take a toll on me mentally. And to aid in that, number 3 on my list, get a therapist. Set up a weekly appointment time and do not miss. Don't cancel, don't reschedule. Even if you have to attend remotely, virtually, because you can't physically make it, for any number of reasons, do not cancel your therapy sessions. Think of a therapy as a professional friend. It's not a burden to them. You're paying them for the hour. Talk to them about whatever you want. They are part of your support network and they're a key part of it. And if you don't know where to begin with finding a therapist, you can use sites like BetterHelp, ThinkSpace, or Cerebral, none of which are sponsoring me to talk about them, but I'll put links to them at the very top of the description of this video so you can find them readily. They will connect you with a qualified mental health professional near you. I didn't have the pleasure of knowing Dick Dynamo or Hana Kimura, but I know wrestling would be a better place if they were still with us today. And I did know Alexander Dean, John Barber, Sweet and Sour Larry Sweeney, and I can tell you my life would absolutely be better if they were still here. It's time for us to start prioritizing our mental health. And if you're watching this and you're thinking, I'm not struggling with my mental health right now, but I know someone who is, here are some things you can do to come to their aid. Number 1, create space for them to talk and listen. You don't need to have any advice. You do need to have some empathy. Offer your reassurance, especially on topics of seeking help, because sometimes seeking help can seem intimidating or even scary. Number 3, no matter what comes up, stay calm. you can play a real role in preventing emotions from escalating. And fourth, be patient. Different people process different things in different times. It may not come out as quickly or as efficiently as you want, so just remain patient. And most importantly, if you are coming to the aid of a friend who is experiencing a mental health struggle, maintain social contact with them. That might mean a text every single day, or you're actually going to call them on the phone and hear their voice, but maintain that social contact regularly. We have lost far too many people from the greater fraternity of professional wrestling. And mental illness in all the shapes and sizes that it takes on is rarely something that we can combat alone. This is something that we have to work on together for the good of us all. It's been a while since I told you this, and I think this is an important time to mention it. You are awesome. And here's how I actually know that. I believe that people who are never done learning are awesome. I think that's the most awesome attitude, the most awesome approach to life anyone can have. And the fact that you're still watching now, this deep in the video, when my analytics tell me most everybody else has bounced, that's how I know you're awesome, because you're here trying to glean any piece of new information or knowledge you possibly can. I think that's awesome. And I think you're awesome. And we should keep on being awesome. So you go on, keep being awesome. I will keep on making the videos. And together, we will keep on faking it. On screen right now is a playlist I've made covering mental health and vitality topics like staying inspired, feelings of burnout, and the way social media can impact our life. If you need more information and insight about that, click on it right now and get going.